Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Another episode segment of A1 Forever Sports. I am Chris Tipmore, your host and proprietor of A1 Forever. Kind of wanted to start this show on a different note. Just want to give my support, my prayers, my concerns to all the families who are forever changed in Uvalde, Texas today from Robb Elementary School. Unfortunately, 14 students and one teacher have all lost their lives due to an active shooter. And I just want to say here at A1 Forever, we definitely support any and everyone, who had lost a loved one today. That's not fair. School shootings are not normal. And something really needs to be done. And hopefully changes will be made. Because, when will enough be enough, So, once again, thoughts and prayers to all the families that lost loved ones and who are forever changed now because of these events of the active shooter who was 18 years old and apparently has lost his life as well. Just wanted to touch note on that. But moving forward into sports, okay, so we're going to start with some NFL. Apparently, the NFL are discussing about possibly the removal of the Pro Bowl. And if so, what to replace it with, so to speak. Shoot, man, I think it should be just about the skill players. Maybe like, the top 4 or 5 receivers, running backs, take the DBs, put them together, just make some things happen and maybe make it a competition to see who's the best at their position or something. Who's the best offensive lineman, not necessarily individual position, but who's the best defensive lineman, best DB, so that means safety and everything involved in that. Like I said, running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, you can do all that. And then just come up with some kind of competition. There's too many heads in the NFL. Y'all can come up with that, man. Y'all can figure it out, because I know me personally, it's been tough to watch the Pro Bowls because it's just like I'm looking. I know they're getting good ratings still. Like the ratings for the Pro Bowl has still been cool. So obviously people are still watching, but I don't know how the masses will feel. We'll see how they handle that the next coming days. And also, it was a change made to this Rooney Rule. Apparently, the QB coach job is now subject to the Rooney Rule. That means that it requires outside interviews with diverse candidates. Now, the Rooney Rule has been a failure. Let's just say that. It's been a failure. And I don't feel like this really swings the ball or moves the needle like that. Moves the needle. I don't think it really moves the needle. But we'll see. I like to be optimistic, of change and everything like that. It's like, we'll see, because, it's been things that I thought wasn't going to work and it ended up working. So next, I would like to touch on last night's game just a tad bit before I give you my thoughts about tonight's game. I would like to start by saying, kudos to Boston for coming out with that energy and coming out, putting the foots on Miami's neck. Just came out completely dominant performance. That first quarter was just, at one point it was like 18-3. Boston 12 of 19 in the first quarter, and Miami 9 for 24. Their starters pretty much produced the worst first quarter like in playoff history. And now that Miami has that hanging over their head, I expect them to be aggressive in the next game, but Boston should see it as well. Now, Boston lost game 5 in the last series between them and Milwaukee. But I kind of feel like if they come out with that same intensity and the same presence that they did in this previous game here, game 4, then they can take game 5. They really can, because I feel like overall they may be just a better team overall right now. That's including health, chemistry, momentum, all including those things. So I definitely want to see what game 5 is going to hold. Jason Tatum had a great game. I said he would bounce back, and he did just that, at 31 points. So he bounced back greatly, and so did the team. After that, in the second half, Miami and Boston tied with points. So there was no chance of any kind of comeback. And Miami, after losing that first quarter like that, they needed to win the second, and they needed to win the third and the fourth quarters. But instead, they lost the first half 70-45. And it was already a terrible deficit to try to come back from on the road, so, and not even fully healthy as well. That's how that went for Boston and Miami. Now, lastly, I want to get into tonight's game between Dallas and Golden State. I want to see what Dallas Mavericks team shows up tonight. It's gut check time. You're down 3-0. It's a good chance you may lose the series, but you never want to give up hope being in that situation. Of course, you never know. You could be that team to make history, right? But Dallas, I just feel like is a little bit undermatched, and I feel like they may not be as motivated, but I do expect them to put their best foot forward. We'll just see if it's good enough to completely overtake the Warriors in game 4 and prevent the sweep. We will see. I know Steph and the guys got that look in their eye, though, man. They can see the finals, and it's only one more game before they can dispatch of Luka and the Mavericks and be waiting on their next opponent, whether it be Miami or Boston. So watch out and just see what kind of Warriors team shows up tonight too. If they come out being aggressive, trying to match whatever Dallas is doing, it may be a long game. Or it could be a nail biter at the end to see who will be the victor. And going forward, I already called Boston and Golden State. That was my matchup for the finals, so I'm going to stay right there. And let's just see how it all plays out, man. I'm ready to see how this game plays out. Let's see if Luka has any magic left, or we'll just see if the Warriors are just too much. But that's all the time for right now. We definitely will be back shortly. It's also, if you guys didn't know, it's a documentary or something like that coming on HBO tonight about what's been going on with Deshaun Watson and the allegations from the masseuses and other women who's just come forward. Going to see what that's going to be about as well. I definitely feel like people are going to have a different perspective about Deshaun after this here. We're going to see, man. All I'm glad is that the Falcons actually didn't get Deshaun Watson, because then we'll be having to deal with that as well. And we got enough to deal with. So we definitely didn't need that circus in Atlanta. And I'm glad that we missed out on them. Sometimes the best things are missing out on people or opportunities that you thought was going to be the best opportunity for you. And then later on, it reveals itself as not being for you. Take it easy, y'all. Deuces, pieces, and blessings. Once again, thoughts and prayers to the families out in Texas from Robb Elementary and anyone else who's really ever lost anyone in school shootings, period, around the world, around the United States. All right, guys, take it easy now. Chris Tipmore, A1 Forever, out.